Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. I kind of got something I want to get off my chest. My sister just showed me a video that is very provoking, and it just shows me that we've failed to show this generation to aspire to be anything, dude. We've truly failed to show this generation any kind of morality, any kind of dreams to have that are like profound. Because if this is what the average, person is saying, little kid wise, we're really effing them up. We really are, man. And the video was basically asking several, people, not people, but they're little people, little kids, right? They were basically 10, 12 tops, right? What they wanted to be. They grew up. And, you usually expect careers and stuff like that. But they asked, a couple of girls and a couple of boys. And honestly, some of the boys said stuff like, firefighter and doctor and stuff. But I was very concerned with what I heard with the girls. Because at the end of the day, in my videos that I talk about human nature. And considering how desperate men are for women, what men are turning into, and what they'll do just to follow women no matter what. The girls, out of 4 chicks, this is what I heard. 2 little girls said OnlyFans. 1 girl said a prostitute. And 1 girl that was so-called reasonable in comparison to that said a waiter. What the heck is going on in the West, dude? When the norm, air quotes, out of that is a waiter. Out of all the things that you could do with your life, you just want to wait tables. And listen, perhaps you could be happy with that. It doesn't all have to be materialistic and stuff like that. But what I had at least hoped to want to hear? I had hoped to want to hear happy. I want to be, happy. That would even if someone would have just said, hey, a mom or a dad, I would have been satisfied with that. I go on about parenthood and stuff like that, but it's not that I am against parenthood. I just want people who are actually capable to be parents, not the people who are freaking incapable to be parents. If someone said that they want to be a parent and they want to be the best possible parent, I think that's good. But if it's just some freaking random mouth breather, strung out on drugs saying, oh, I want to be a mom, yeah, that pisses me off, I'm not going to sit around here and say I'm anti-natalist. It's not really my place to say that, but I certainly do feel it is my place to say that, when you're some freaking unqualified cunt and you're popping out babies left and right, EBT-osaurus and all that crap, it's irritating. But to hear those little girls say that, it's really... Because think about, who, these people are worshiping, I talked about, what people worship, in my last video, right? They're worshiping these sluts like Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj. These are, the freaking women that little girls aspire to. And then you got these pussified men, wearing dresses and high heels and cross-dressing and all this crap, and people try to say, oh, it's normal, oh, Listen, this is affecting the kids. If you want to do that once you're an adult, that's one thing, but why the heck do you have to show the kids this crap? And people like to say, oh, well, it's a parent's it's their responsibility to defend the kid. Yeah, but you cocksuckers also force parents to send them to these public indoctrination centers called schools. Schools don't teach you crap about life. Listen, school teaches you nothing about credit. They don't teach you anything about loans. They don't teach you anything about how to, get a job. They don't teach you anything about work experience. But they do teach you about so-called social justice. They do teach you about certain politics and stuff like that. And depending on, what kind of position your school is in, they'll either try and make you be Democrat or Republican. Back when I was in school, right? When I was in high school, they tried to force me to say that I was a Democrat. Why? Oh, well, you're a nibba, so you're only supposed to vote Democrat. Blue no matter who. What are their policies? And if I say that to people, Obviously, I must be a Hugh White boy. Oh, you just can't stand your Uncle Tom, Uncle Ruckus. Why? Because I hold you cocksuckers accountable? I hold everyone accountable. But people couldn't believe that. All schools are public indoctrination centers. And the fact that even at this school, that little girl, well, several little girls, said lonely fans, prostitutes. That's freaking insane. That is what these kids have to aspire to. And it just kind of brings me to the point that I said, like in one of my previous videos, like we should really, in my opinion, just go ahead and legalize the prostitution and tax it into oblivion. F them over just as hard as they're effing us over. I heard something about lonely fans shutting down because, like, all the tax evasion crap, which is the only real reason that they'd ever shut that down is because of taxes, good old IRS, right? But realistically speaking, we should just legalize it and, have them have to, like, do two things. Put that on their resume, and they need a card that they have to consistently renew to say that they're STD free. Like both of them and the Johns, and then just tax it into oblivion. I'm not going to say it's going to solve all the problems in society. It's not by a long shot, but at least that way we'd have, like, at least a safe way to handle that. And all of these dumb arses that say that stuff, here's the penalty for doing it, because there will be a penalty, in my opinion. Should you choose that, whether you're a man or a woman, no children. You can't have kids. No. The kids do not deserve to suffer for your freaking stupidity. Oh, but I was so in hard times and I had to get money. I don't care. That's why you can't be a parent, dumbars. If you can't freaking afford the kid, don't have them. It's you would think that that's obvious to people. You know what I mean? You would think to say something like that is obvious to people. But apparently, if you do something like that, you're evil. If you give someone a condom and say, wrap up, don't freaking stick your crap in random people. Don't get an STD. Hey, be careful with who you're letting up in your womb. You're a bastard. You can't control my sexuality. Yes, but if you do control your sexuality, it also controls whether or not you get someone pregnant. If you're dabbling in, normal relations, if you catch my drift. But if you say this stuff, people get mad. But why are they getting mad when these people are literally raising whores? Freaking sissified cross-dressers and trans testicles. They're getting mad at what this is producing when all these kids are seeing is degeneracy. And they're trying to normalize degeneracy. Because they're after the kids as a whole. That's why they're trying to introduce them to, like, all this disgusting crap. I read something a long time ago now. Well, maybe it's not super long, but, like, back when I want to say, like, in maybe, say, 2020, where they were just showing, like, all these kids, like, all these freaking porn craps and so-called sex ed, where it was, like, fisting and bondage and all this. Well, how is that sex ed? How is that sex ed? I'm telling you, man, I graduated 2017. I really feel like I really juked school. Because looking at what the heck's in school now, looking at the bastards in freaking school, like, dressed up as animals and trying to attach tails and call themselves wolves and all this pronoun crap, like, I really, really dodged a freaking bullet. If I was in school, I probably might freaking... Man, someone's pulling that crap on me, I'd probably get expelled. Whether it's a freaking teacher or a freaking student, man. Like, that's freaking insane. No, like, you just got all this freaking degeneracy going around here, and it just doesn't make any sense. It makes sense because they're, again, trying to normalize it, but it's like... What pisses me off is that these cocksuckers are so afraid, again, to be a black sheep. And to stand on truth. They're just like... They'll say it behind the keyboard, but they won't say it out in public. I don't give a rat's ass, so I'm saying it out in public. Stay the heck away from kids. If you're some freaking crazy arse cunt dressing up as chicks and whatnot, with your bearded freaking face and hairy arse legs, stay away from kids. Go to the clubs that welcome you. You have a massive circle of people that will welcome you. Stay away from kids. This is what the kids are seeing. And then you got these cunts saying, oh, well, the school, like, it's a parent's responsibility. Okay, so can I ask a question? Why can't parents be responsible for the kids all the time? If that's the case, like, because listen, I would love if we could just do away with public school. I mean it. Public school is a complete waste of time. They are completely uneducated. These people have no idea where they are. These so-called adults just leave schools and go to college as if they choose to, with freaking 80% more tattoos, 80% less hair, 80% more piercings, and 80% more obesity. That's basically what it is. All of the knowledge that they should gain about life and stuff, then pretty much non-existent. Pretty much non-existent. They don't gain anything about life. So again, what's the point? Because hey, if it's a parent's responsibility, in my opinion, I say let's get rid of public schools. Let's make it optional. Because I promise you, listen, I could probably do a freaking better job. I'm not going to pretend like I freaking raised the kid before, but listen, I'd at least freaking raise that kid and let him know about history. I'd let him know about freaking money and stuff like that. I'd actually teach him about work experience. I'd teach him that crap. All this dumb crap that they're teaching him in school and stuff like that. Nah, man, F that. No, because at this point, it's like the freaking average intelligence of a so-called adult is just massively going down. They're emotionally unstable and crap like that at all times. They can't handle that someone feels differently about something than them without them being peaceful. They can't handle it. Like, think about it right now. If you say the term anti-woke, these people say, oh, you see, you're just as bad as they are because you're just quick to say something's anti-woke. Why? Because they're saying that they're not going to be some freaking inclusive bullcrap. They're not going to have, a they, them, a she, him, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then you have a problem that they say anti-woke. It's obvious that they're anti-woke. They're freaking normal. Normal. You either have the wokies, the abnormals, or the normal. And there are a lot more people choosing to try and be normal. And I hope that you guys are, that you can't hear that. I don't know if some idiot is trying to have a freaking block party right now or something, but they would try and have a block party at this freaking time. Stupid neighborhood in a nutshell. But here's what I'm trying to say, right? Here's the point. These kids have seen the adults, and they're looking at these examples. These little girls are looking to these grown women that are bragging about all this money that they're making on OnlyFans, despite most of the fact that most of them don't even make over $100 a month and stuff, and they're bragging about that. And they're also looking at what the chicks get away with just because they have vaginas, and so they're like, hey, listen, why not just be a full-on prostitute? That's what they're saying. And it's awful that a little girl, with all the stuff that you would think that she could do, and listen, she has plenty that she could do. There is plenty that she can do. She could be a freaking, hairstylist. She could be some kind of freaking, I don't know, like cosmetic designer, like a dress, like something that makes sense, Because I'm not one of these idiots that sits around here and says women can do anything, but I also acknowledge that there's still plenty that they can do in terms of, career paths and stuff like that. There are, dress designers that make good money and stuff like that. Like clothes designers. And the fact that a little girl is saying that she wants to be a whore, 3 out of 4 said that they want to be whores, essentially. Because the OnlyFans and a prostitute are just pretty much the same thing. The OnlyFans chick just thinks that she doesn't have to, do anything directly. Whereas a prostitute's just doing something directly. It's just, that's really disappointing, man. That's really freaking disappointing. That's really disappointing. And unfortunately, those guys are going to just say, you know what, I'm still going to just normalize it. It doesn't matter that, my freaking girlfriend's a OnlyFans model. It doesn't matter that she's a prostitute. I still love her. That crap matters, dude. You're a freaking amoral, hedonistic culture that can't raise kids. These kids should not have to look at that crap. They shouldn't. That shouldn't be what you aspire to as a kid. The fact that not one of them said happiness, the fact that not one of them said, I don't know, I just want to be like a parent or something that makes sense. That's awful. That's freaking awful, man. My gosh, we've really failed these kids, dude. We really have. And I do take accountability with that, because I say we, I know that a lot of guys check out and stuff like that. And I get that. But, when I live my life, I acknowledge the fact that, the best testimony that you could ever give to anyone, in spite of what your beliefs are about things like that, is your life. You claim that you like truth, you claim that you like justice, but what are you going to do in the grand scheme when it happens, right? And unfortunately, no one can really look to anyone right now as an example. We worship all these characters in anime and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, no one's really willing to be like them, You talk about how awesome this character is, but because of how moral they are and how righteous they are and, how honorable they are, but no one is really willing to be that. No one's willing to be that example. And that's a goddamn shame. It really is, dude. And just the fact that children, with all of the things that they could say, want to be prostitutes, little girls say that, and then one says a freaking waiter of all things. That's effed up, man. It's effed up. It really is. I hope that people at least just... This is why I say that, like, these freaking crusades that are gonna happen, and they're gonna happen at this point, I don't know when, but they're gonna happen. I hope they happen. I really do, because we need a massive purge of this crap. We really do. That's the only way. That's the only way. You need a massive purge of this. You have to have it. There's just no way, because these freaking people are, like, destroying generation after generation of people, just making them more and more insane, making them more delusional. And you're seeing it everywhere. You're seeing it everywhere in the West. Everywhere in the West. Oh, you can't deport these people because, that's discriminatory. I don't care if they're freaking cartel members and rapists and stuff and murderers. It doesn't matter. These are the kind of people that are walking around. This is the example that you're giving to kids. This is insane. That's insane, dude. That's freaking awful. That's awful. That's why I say it has to happen. It has to. And I hope it does. I hope it happens in my lifetime. Yeah, I don't really care about surviving it. I just hope that the side that wins, the side that wins is just hopefully a moral one. A sane one, at least. A sane one. It's very disheartening to see stuff like that. It really is. I'm not gonna act like it's like I'm completely torn up by it. It's no surprise to me, but jeez, dude. Like freaking 10 years old, 12 years old, I want to be a prostitute. Because just think about what kind of mom that kid has. 9 times out of 10, a complete whore. 9 times out of 10, a single mom that has a revolving door of dicks that goes into that house. And if they're not just touching on the mom, they might be touching on the little girl too. And the little girl might be thinking that it's fine because, hey, this is what they taught me in school. It doesn't matter that I'm doing this early on. Next thing you know, prego. Our freaking generation is disgusting, dude. I cannot stand these people. I really can't. It's insane to me. And this is why I say, like, yeah, I'm not a doomer, but I understand it completely. I understand the sentiment that people have that they just want to just give up on everything and just air quotes rot, But I'm not like that. And I'm not one of these people saying that like, you need to, like, save everyone else, because I don't really have that opinion, I don't really think that it's your need to save everyone else, but I'm also not going to sit around here and sugarcoat it that, like, hey, listen, don't be surprised that when everyone just chooses to, like, not take action, when we need to take action, that, like, things just drastically continue to decline. And I'm not going to sit around here and say that. Because, listen, I get that, like, leadership sucks. I'm not going to be, like, I'm not a leader by any means, but unfortunately, people want to be led, and it does really seem like unless the leaders are somewhat competent, unless the leaders are somewhat moral, it's just, you're just doomed, like, you're doomed, because your leaders just completely F everyone over, because people just want to be sheeps, and they don't want independence, and they don't want to fight for themselves, and so they just say, oh, well, the leader said it, so therefore, let's just, do it. And let's just believe that it's okay. It doesn't matter. I really hate how human nature is. Like, I hate how unwilling to be an individual that most people are. You have all this stuff that sets you apart as an individual, and you throw it all away and you pretend that, like, you're cool with the group even though you're not cool with the group. Because your brain literally changes to try and fit into that group. And I get it partially. I get it partially. Back in the day, like, when you were by yourself, you didn't have as much of a chance to survive. But it's like, listen, we're not there anymore. The best way to, like, counter your nature is to acknowledge that it's there, You have to acknowledge that it's there. I know my nature as a human is effed up. I know my nature can be selfish and stuff like that. That's why I keep myself in check. I'm constantly holding myself accountable. It's not about freaking beating yourself down. It's just knowing what you are. And people don't want to do that. They say, oh, well, I have it, so I shouldn't act on it. And look at what it's freaking creating. Look at how many of these cocksuckers are coming out here saying, oh, it's fine that I'm, a map. It's fine that we're showing kids all this freaking degeneracy. Oh, it's good that kid wants to be a little whore when they grow up. I can't wait. These are the kinds of things that people, in proper context, if you're going to clip me, you sucker. But this is what these kids are looking forward to. This is the inspiration that we're giving them. And that's really, really, really effed up, man. I just really hope that, again, when these freaking crusades happen, because they will happen, I'm telling you, they're going to happen. I just hope that the side that wins is just sane, man. Completely eradicate all degeneracy. That's all I ask. I don't need to survive, like I said. I don't really care either way. Because people are going to look at it when it's happening. They're going to look at the barbarism, because it's going to be barbarism. You have effed up people that take advantage of situations like this to do everything that they want to do. Struggle, snuggle, rape, slavery, all of that stuff, But at the end of the day, like, it's still, in my opinion, as awful as it's going to be, it needs to happen. Because this degeneracy crap, this vile, disgusting garbage, the only way that it ends is when you say or else. And you mean it. Not or else, and just puff your chest up and then back down. It's or else, and then somebody goes bye-bye. That's the only way it ends. I really, really wish that things didn't have to be like this. I really wish I could live in a world where we could just work together more and stuff, but people just don't want to do that. As intelligent as humankind is, people don't want to do that. And I guess it's not surprising. Because, like, when you really think about it, you've got most people that just choose willingly to be a follower. Because they just don't like the responsibility of life. They don't like that sometimes you just don't have anyone to blame but yourself. And sometimes it's not even your fault. Sometimes it's just life. And I guess being under someone else can always say, hey, listen, I'm here because of you, and you effed up, so it's your fault. That's kind of how humanity has been. Because, like, a lot of times after, like, say, they do overthrow someone, they just immediately put someone else, like, in the seat of power. Like, it's, I don't know, man. But I don't really think you'll ever really understand them. I don't think you'll ever truly understand humans. You can understand human nature, but it doesn't mean you'll understand humans. It's just, we're so weird. We're so weird. And it's honestly not for the better, sadly. It really isn't. Greed, corruption, manipulation, degeneracy, it is just completely destroying human creativity and ingenuity. It really is. I mean, just look at the kinds of people that are coming out of these schools. Look at the kind of people that are walking around in the West. Like, it's insane. It's insane that, like, I can look at a documentary about tribal people who essentially have more sense than a so-called college graduate. That's freaking insane to think about. But it's not surprising. Not surprising at all. But I'm probably just repeating the same thing over and over again, so I'm just gonna end it, It's not really like, something that like's been bothering me. It's not. I wouldn't even say that this is like a video diary. This one, but this is just me like just talking about that stuff. It's just effed up. It's effed up to think about that stuff, man. It's really messed up that your kids, the people who in theory should be here after you're dead, this is what they're aspiring to. But at the same time, it's not surprising because, like I said, look at who we worship. Look at who we glorify. Whether or not your opinions about like so-called like spiritual beliefs are, they're important or they're not important, don't underestimate it, folks. People like worshiping things. Do not think that that sucker who does not worship like anything spiritually does not worship celebrities. Not to that. Don't think it. Don't think that these scientists themselves do not love the glory that they receive from, oh, look at me, I'm so wonderful, I'm, insert my name, I'm a certified professor, and I'm this, that, and the other. It's just human nature, man. I don't know what I can say. But I'm going to leave it here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and God bless. I'll see you next time.